Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Jazakumullahu khairan for everybody attending. This is going to be a revision class for the first 4 lessons that we've done. So we've done the first 4 lessons. We're just going to go over, we're going to revisit those slides and try to make it sit in our heads. It's like a breather for everybody. I know lesson 3 was the hardest lesson. We're not going to have a lesson like that again, inshallah. And in the future, when I do it, I will split lesson 3 into in 2 weeks, inshallah. So, and I hope people have brought their questions. I'm going to go over it. I'm going to go through it. When the time comes for your questions, please do ask. They say the shy student never learns. So definitely ask. And don't think it's a silly question. Right. You can all hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
cool.
alhamdulillah.
Okay. Right, so I'm just going to go through these slides. We did this. I'm just going to go straight to the ones that we want to concentrate on. So we did all this. That was the graph. Hey, it's just worth asking yourselves, the students obviously have gone down, but are you one of the ones? Well, if you're here, that means you're good. Okay, but alhamdulillah, hasn't gone down too much, alhamdulillah, which is good. It's not gone down less than half. It's been about 3/4-ish. Okay, yeah, we did that. So you don't need, yes, yes.
I was just going to ask how much how many people actually left the class, just out of interest?
So last week we had about 100 people, slightly over 100 people who attended the class. So we started off about 160, and we had about 100 attending the class. And there's other students that do the classes, but they can't attend the live lessons. So there's quite a few that listen to the recording. So I'm hoping we've still got a good number of students, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
As I said, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for some people. So just stick to it as much as you can. It's not going to be any harder than lesson 3. So inshallah, we're on our way. This book is not necessary. It's just what I base my slides on. This book isn't necessary for the course, and I think it's out of print as well. Okay, so somebody's asked, Salam, just joined. Anything missed? No, nothing missed yet. Okay. Intention, we just need to always keep and refreshing our intention. It's very, very hard. And one of the scholars, Sufyan al-Thawri, I think it was, one of the people of the past, from the ulama of the past, he said the thing I struggled with most was my intention. And that blasted me when I heard that. That the thing, we're talking big scholar, mountains of knowledge. What a massive scholar. Like Imam Shafi, Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Abu Hanifa, like one of them basically. He was very, very a giant in knowledge. And he said the thing I struggled with most was my intention. So it shows how, we might feel our intention is fine, but we just might need to just revisit the intention regularly. Okay. Go on. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, so this one here. So I mentioned that in Arabic we have ism, which is nouns, we have verbs, which is fi'l, and we have harf, which is particles. So here we see an example of the nouns. Kitabun, rajulun, qalamun, filun, baqaratun. They're all in the case of marfu, meaning they're all ending in the double dhamma. All of them are ending in double dhamma, and the reason I can say now is because the default case a word is in Arabic, a noun is marfu. It has a double ending, a dhamma ending, and that's the default case for a word in Arabic. Only when something comes in front of it is it going to affect it and change it. But as itself, as it stands, and if it's the first word of a sentence, there's nothing coming before it, so it's going to keep its default form, its default case, which is marfu. Everybody happy with that? Okay, so nobody said anything, so okay, good. What we haven't covered yet is the next one, verbs, fi'l. So darasa, alima, qatala, amala, wajada. These are all doing words: to study, to know, to kill, to act, to find. These we're going to cover inshallah in the next lesson, lesson 5. We're pretty much done with nouns for the time being. We're pretty much done with nouns. We've done the nouns, all of them. Okay. So these are examples of verbs. We will do that inshallah lesson 5. And then this one here is an example of harf, huruf, particles like on, from, in, whom, ila, to. These are prepositions even. These ones are prepositions. It's just connecting words, and they don't have cases. Connecting words are not nouns. They don't have a case. One of the ways to tell a word is a noun is if it has an ending, a double ending. A double ending signifies a noun. Okay, so that was just some Arabic terminology information that we covered in lesson 1. Everybody happy to move on? Okay, if nobody says, if I'll just continue with the slides, and if anybody wants me to repeat, etc., then yeah, just put a comment on or just message me. Don't the adjectives match the noun? Sister is asking. Don't the adjective match the noun in terms of ending? Yes, the adjectives. I just could somebody just put the video on? Can I just ask you to keep your videos off, please? Jazakallah khair. Right. Okay. Right. So yes, the adjectives match the nouns. Yes, you're right. You got a good point. It's an adjective. It's matching the noun. Yes. So adjectives do have double endings as well. Yes, you're right. Okay. Good point, sister there. Do verbs have cases? We will cover that inshallah in about lesson 7 inshallah. Okay, lesson 7 inshallah for that one. Okay. Next one. Okay, then we went to Kitabun. So Kitabun means a book. And there are 3 ways of basically making a sentence or referring to a book. So the first way is hadha. Hadha kitabun means this is a book. Dhalika kitabun means that is a book. And huwa kitabun means it is a book. So this is just an example of how you might see something written in Arabic, a simple sentence. So then we went on to define what is feminine. So we have masculine words and we have feminine words in Arabic, just like in other languages. In French, we have masculine and feminine words. In Urdu, we have masculine words and feminine words, i.e. a table, masculine or feminine, a car, maybe feminine, a bed, masculine, like this. You get that. Certain words are masculine, certain words are feminine. So what we did is we went through the words, how to be able to tell if a word is feminine first. So the main way to tell a word is feminine is when it has a ta marbuta at the end. That ta over there. It's like a normal ta, like this one here. I'm just drawing it with the laser pen. It's like that ta there, but it's closed up into a circle. And ta marbuta is being closed. It's a closed ta. Whenever you see this at the end of a word, then that word is feminine. So jannatun is feminine because that ta, when it joins, it looks like that. Okay, it's still that same ta. Ta marbuta, when it joins with the previous letter, it looks like that. Okay, that's jannatun. Jannatun is feminine. Ayatun, a verse, a sign, it's feminine. And you get, like a brother's name is Salih. You stick a ta marbuta at the end, it becomes Salihah, a girl's name. Jamil means beautiful, and that's a boy's name. And when you stick a ta marbuta at the end, Jamila. We stop in there, we're stopping there, so Jamila, it becomes a ha. sounds like a ha when you stop. So Jamila is a girl's name. You got Abid, boy's name, Abida, girl's name. And there's plenty of names like that where you just stick the ta marbuta at the end and it makes it into a girl name. So the first way to tell if a word is feminine is if it's got a ta marbuta attached to the ending. Second way we can tell is if it refers to a woman. If it's a mother, then it has no ta marbuta at the end. That is not a ta marbuta, that's a normal ta. But because it's a woman, because in that case it's a daughter, then that one is going to be feminine. Same with ummun. Ummun is mother. But because it's talking about a woman, it is a woman itself, then it's a feminine word. Next one. Any body part that comes in pairs is feminine. So hand is feminine because it comes in a pair. Eye is feminine. Nose is not feminine because everybody only has one nose. Mouth is not feminine. Feet are feminine. Ears, feminine. Doesn't matter who it belongs to, male or female, the ear is feminine. Same with eye, etc. And the last one is it's historically feminine, i.e. the Arabs in the language from old, there was some exceptions. There were certain words that they don't have a ta marbuta at the end. They're not a woman, they're not a body part that comes in pairs, but they were always known to be historically feminine. They've always just been referred to as feminine. They're like the exceptions. So al-ardu is one of those exceptions. Al-ardu doesn't have a ta marbuta at the end. It's not a woman by itself. It's not a body part that comes in pairs, but it's just one of those exceptions. And there's a few other exceptions mentioned here. Shamsun means sun. Sama'un means sky. Jahannamu is hellfire. Sabilun is a way. And nafsun is soul. A person, soul. So that's the definition for a feminine word. Everything else is masculine. Everything else is masculine. Do you need to know it so much? Like, if you were constructing sentences, you need to know this like the back of your hand. Because we're not constructing sentences in this course, we're just understanding what is already written. So in that case, we just need to appreciate and know that this thing exists. Feminine and masculine exists, because then they are referred to in different ways. So the next slide shows us how you would say this is to a masculine word. You would say هذا kitabun, this is a book. And if you want to say it to a feminine word, shajaratun. See, shajaratun is feminine because it has a ta marbuta at the end. Now you can't say هذا shajaratun because shajaratun is a woman, is a female. So you have to use هذه. هذه shajaratun. So that's why there's a difference. There's two ways of saying this is in Arabic. One is هذا for male words, and one is هذه for feminine words. Similar to that, we have ذلك, which means that is for a male word, and we have tilka, which means that is for a feminine word. And then lastly, huwa. Huwa means it is, or it can mean he is if you're talking about a person. So it can be it is for inanimate objects and he is for animate objects. So here we have huwa kitabun, it means it is a book. Over here we've got shajaratun. We can't say huwa kitabun, so we can't say huwa shajaratun because shajaratun is a girl. So you've got to use the girl way, the feminine way of saying it is. So here shajaratun is correct. In the Quran you will see هذه جهنم. هذه جهنم. So what's going on there is هذه جهنم is feminine. It's one of those historical feminine words. So you will see now sometimes هذا, sometimes هذه, as long as you know that هذا and هذه both mean this is, job done. As long as you know ذلك and تلك mean that is, job done. For the basic level, job done. And as long as you know huwa and hiya means it is, well, you need to learn huwa actually means he is, because sometimes it's going to be talking about a male. So huwa and hiya, you need to learn it is or he, she is. So the homework was the main thing. You might want to star your slides again, put a star, put highlighter or whatever you want to do. Take a picture of it, whatever, because sometimes you can take a picture and then when you're at work, you can just go back to your photos and have a look at it. So sometimes it's easier taking a picture. But this table is important. It comes in the Quran. I think I've even got a slide. Yeah. So them are the rough numbers of the amount of times that those words come in the Quran. So you're talking in the hundreds. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ ذَلِكَ. Okay, first page. Well, second surah. First page is there. ذَلِكَ. You need it all the time. And I mentioned that the masculine words will come more than the feminine words, as you can see. Look at the masculine words, they're in their hundreds. The feminine words are in the tens. So the reason for that is because in Arabic, masculine word can be talking about masculine, but if you're talking about masculine and feminine things, then you use masculine terminology. So masculine can include women as well. The masculine terminology can include women as well. Whereas the feminine terminology is only talking about women only. Okay, so nobody's crying, nobody's saying anything there, so that looks good. Right, so here we just went over, not too important, this slide not too important, but just to show you that the adjective in Arabic comes after the noun. So in Arabic, in English you say the big house or a big house. You say big first, then you mention the noun. In Arabic, it's the other way around. You will say the house, big. The car, beautiful. The tree, huge. The computer, fast. Okay. So, Qur'anun Karimun. Quran, noble. Ilahun, God. Wahidun, one. In English, we would say one God. In Arabic, you say God, one. So, it's just, this slide is just saying that the adjective agrees with the noun. You don't need to really know this, but for those who want some extra information, the adjective will agree with the noun in a few ways. Number one, if the noun is singular, then the adjective is going to be singular. If the noun is masculine, then the adjective is going to be masculine. To make karimun feminine, you would just put karimatun. But because Quran is male, masculine, then karimun is going to be masculine. And the other similarity is if it's ending in a double dhamma, then the adjective is also going to end in a double dhamma. If it's going to end in a, like dopesh. If it's ending in dopesh here, that's going to end in dopesh. If it's ending in dozer, kasra, two kasras, then it's going to have the same ending here. So the question is being asked, is it important as we're translating sentences? No. For the literal meaning of the Quran, you generally don't need this. There's going to be exceptions, but generally no, you don't need this. As long as you know Quran, as long as you know Kareem, job done pretty much. Hope that answers your question, Sheikh. Okay. All right. So extra information, it could help when you're doing hifz. And sometimes you're thinking, oh, if you might be able to figure it out sometimes, the more rules you know. But for literal translation, generally, you don't need that. Could you please explain the dual plural again, please? Yes. So if Quran, we were talking about many Qurans, then we'd be saying this word we'd be using the plural word for this. many, noble. And if we were talking about two Qur'ans, then we would use the dual way of saying two, noble. So we're talking about plurals, then the adjective is going to be in the plural form. If we're talking about a singular, then the adjective is going to be in a singular. But again, it's all written in the Quran. As long as you understand what's going on, fine. Endings you don't need to worry about too much though. The double, the tashkil you don't have to worry about. How do you change the gender of an adjective? So to change the gender, many times you're just going to stick a ta marbuta at the end. Karimatun. If it's a feminine word here, you'll generally put a ta marbuta at the end, but there may be many exceptions to that rule. That's just one way. As I said again, it's already written in the Quran, so those who are scratching their heads, don't worry about it because it's already written in the Quran. This is more for if you were to construct sentences yourself. Okay, no more questions there. Good. And that was all for lesson 1. So just very quickly, I'm just thinking whether I should translate these or I'll just go on to the next one. If we get time at the end, I'll come back to these and I will go through translating these. So, huwa Qur'anun Majidun. Is everybody alright with that? If I have enough time at the end, I will come back and go through the translation of the verses because this is the whole point we're doing it. Yep. Okay, fantastic. So let's just go ahead there. The harakat change when you put a ta marbuta at the end. For an adjective, no, it stays the same as the noun. I don't know. Then we learnt those words. So if you don't know the words, you've got another week to get them in your head. This is like just a rest. We're all having a bit of a break and just going over our work. So the pace has come to a standstill for the time being. This was the homework. I'm not going to go through that because we've already done that in the lesson. I was just testing everybody. Make sure you know these words because look how many times Rabbun 968. These words come in a lot in the Quran. Al-Haqqu 187. Okay. And then lesson 2 we started off. So this is lesson 2 now. Lesson 2 we started off by saying that the rules of grammar were written down as many Arabs started coming. Any people from whose Arabic wasn't that strong would come in and then they become a Muslim and then they were reading the Quran and they were reading the Quran wrong. And sometimes you can just change a pesh to a zabar. You can change a dhamma to a fatha and the meaning can completely change. And it does change as we're going to see. So then these tashkil, these fatha dhamma kasras were written down. And I explained here, and this is where lesson 5 is going to come in inshallah. Okay, وَقَتَلَ. This is a story of David and Goliath, Dawood alayhi salam and Jalut. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَتَلَ Dawood Jaluta. This means Dawood killed Jalut. That's how it is in the Quran. And I just wanted, what I went through in the lesson was, if I was to get that fatha there, that zabar, and put it on the Dawood, and get the dhamma of Dawood, the pesh of Dawood, and put it on Jalut, if I swapped them around, and if I said, وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودَ جَالُوتُ, then it would mean, Jalut killed Dawood alayhi salam. Just by changing the, just by putting the dhamma and the fatha the other way around, it changes the meaning completely. That's why it's very important to make sure we read the Quran with tajweed, correctly as well. And obviously we don't do it on purpose if we make a mistake. So inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us. But this is, sometimes it can be so critical. Sometimes it might not make a difference much on the literal. It's just saying it wrong. Sometimes it'll make a difference, and that's a lesson 5. That's a lesson 5 one, inshallah. So to get to lesson 5 and to be able to explain to you something that you need to be able to translate the Quran, I had to teach you 3 cases. The 3 ways in which you can say a noun in Arabic. So when it ends in a dhamma or a double dhamma, a pesh or do pesh, that word we call it in the case of marfu. It's in the case of marfu. So Kitabun is marfu. It's just the case, and I described that the case is like, imagine marfu being an English word like house, but full case, capitals. Imagine marfu to be the English word written in capitals. And then mansub is a noun that ends in a fatha or double fatha. So it ends in a zabar or do zabar. Okay. So any noun that ends in its singular form, write singular on the slide. This is for singular words. Any singular noun that ends with a fatha, a zabar, or double fatha, a do zabar, it's in the case of mansub. Imagine mansub being, it starts off with a capital letter, but the rest of the letters are small. Another case in the English language. The word is the same, the meaning is the same, but it just looks different. And then majroor, imagine majroor being all small case in English. And in Arabic, any singular word that ends in a kasra or two kasras, it ends in a zair or dozer, then that word is in the case of majroor. It's just three different ways you can say a word in Arabic. So imagine, in English, if I was to say a house, a house, a house, three different ways I've said the same word, but it is a bit different. Again, marfu being a house, mansub being a house, and majroor being a house. Okay, that's what I was telling my kids, that one, so I thought I'd use it here as well. They have exactly, so sisters asked, do they have the same meaning? They have exactly the same meaning, but something in the sentence is going on, which we'll explain in lesson 5, inshallah. So literally the word means the same, but what's going on in the sentence to that word, or what's happening with that word, that's going to change. The meaning is still going to be the same, but something is going on in the sentence, which inshallah lesson 5. But you need to know this to be able to appreciate lesson 5 and to be able to translate the literal meaning of the Quran as well. This is the one grammar rule you really, really need to know. Yeah, it could be the context of the sentence. Something's going on in the sentence. We'll do that inshallah lesson 5. I don't want to scare you yet. I'm hoping lesson 5 clicks. You'll be so happy that we went through marfu, mansub, majroor. Okay, so that's this slide. And then we went through this. So, Kitabun, if you look here, Kitabun means a book. Kitabun means a book. To make it into the book, you get the alif lam and you stick it at the start of the word and you join it on. So, al-kitabu means the book. When we do that, when we stick a al in front, then the double ending goes to a single ending. So the dammatain, the do pesh there, that's supposed to be do pesh that, it now becomes single pesh. It becomes one dhamma. So imagine you add some ink onto this side, you have to balance it by taking some ink off that side. Again, it's already in the Quran, this. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. It's already written in the Quran. But this is just for some extra information that this is what's going on. This is a grammar rule. That's maybe the most simple grammar rule. That when you stick a al, then the double ending becomes single ending. The meaning, the book here, and a book here. Let's look at the other one. Shajaratun, a tree, becomes ash-shajaratu, the single ending, and alif lam means the. That's all you really have to remember here. Rajulan, a man, becomes ar-rajula, single ending, and the main thing to remember here is al means the. Al means the. Yes, there are times when al will not be present and the meaning is still the. But I won't worry about that. We're not going to cover that inshallah. But sometimes there's not going to be a al and it means the. Okay, but a lot of the times al means the, and without al it means a. So let's look at the last one. Yawmin is a day, and when you put the al there, al-yawmi, the day. And same with so baqaratin becomes al-baqarati. Al-Baqarati. Everybody happy? Nobody saying anything? That sounds very good to me. Simple days so far. Okay, so I've got a question. Do you not have to pronounce the al clearly, as you don't pronounce it when... Okay, yeah, so sisters asked the question. Al-Kitabu. Al. So you're putting a lam there, but you're pronouncing the lam here. You're saying Al-Kitabu. But over here, look, Ash-Shajaratu. There's no lam going on there. And that's a tajweed rule. It's because this is one of those letters that we call these sun letters, where the lam is not pronounced. And these are moon letters, where the lam is pronounced. So kaf is a moon letter, which so you say al, you pronounce it al. In this one, this is a sun letter, so you don't pronounce the lam, you say ash-shajaratu. Now the thing is, the reason why I'm not going into that, because all the tashkil, all the fathas and shad is already written in the Quran. So it shows you how to read it in the Quran. Ash-shajaratu and al-kitabu. But that's what's going on. Some letters, you pronounce the lam, and other letters, you don't pronounce the lam. Yeah, so the shad, yeah, so yes, somebody's saying the shad indicates it. The shad indicates that you don't pronounce the lam. If there's a shad there, this, as my teacher calls it, a mustache. The shad. When that's there, then you don't pronounce the lam. That's one way to tell. But it's just a read. That's just a reading thing. You won't say al-shajaratu, you say ash-shajaratu. Is it wrong to say baqaratun, some letter? Is it wrong to say baqaratun? I don't know what you mean there. Baqaratun is fine. But when you put al there, it's going to be al-baqaratu. Hope that answers the question. Right. Yep. Okay. So then we just went through this. I don't think I'm going to go through this. Kitabun is, the main thing to remember here is it means a book, because there's no al. And remember the case, marfu. So this was just practice, so you know what marfu is. Just practice. Baytan is a house, one of them. And it is mansoob. So this was, again, just practice. So I'm just going to go over these quickly. Ash-shajarati, the tree. Majroor. Nafsan is mansoob, a person, a soul, a person. Mansoob. As-siratu is, so this is a sun letter here. As-siratu, the path, and it is marfu. Adhabin, a punishment. Let's stop the video. Okay. Yeah, majroor. Ainin is an eye, and it is majroor. Yadun, I just muted everybody, could hear somebody. So yadun is a hand, and it is marfu. Al-mu'minuna, sorry, al-mu'minu. Main thing you need to know here is al, so the believing man, and it is marfu. Mu'minatin, a believing woman, and is majroor. So we've done this slide now. So now I can look at this and say this is marfu, so the adjective needs to be marfu. This one here is marfu, and this one here is marfu. Okay? So the cases are very important, and that's all we pretty much learnt in lesson 2. So case and al makes it into the. Lesson 3. So I just wanted to, what happened is by accident a sister's video came up there. I don't know who the sister was. I think she had a hijab on. So if I put that on YouTube with that sister, face came on for about 2-3 seconds. Is that sister okay with it, or do I have to edit the video? So if you can reply to me, just text me or something, then I'll know, inshallah. I don't know who it was. Okay, right. Lesson 3. Went over the homework first. So all the answers are in the slides. Went over the revision. Look, min and man, 3,876 times. It's coming everywhere. 715 ala, 715 on or above. Right, so this was the difficult lesson. I should break it down into two next time, inshallah. I'll break it down to two next time, inshallah. Right, so this doesn't work. In Arabic, you don't just stick a sin on the end like you do in English. Okay, so what I explained then is these are examples of, yeah, one second. Could you bring the previous slide back? Yes. This, who was that? Okay, yeah, that one, or this one. All right. All right, okay. Had a feeling that was somebody who I know, but it wasn't. It was somebody else. Okay, so Muslimun is an example here. Means a Muslim. Oh, sorry. What this slide says is in Arabic, we have singular. And we have a word for dual, which is two. And then we have a word for 3+. So in English, we have house and houses. That's it. You got two. You got singular and plural. In Arabic, you have singular, you have dual, which is two. So you got a word for two, and then you've got plural, which is three or more. Three or more in Arabic. So we have an extra thing. Makes the language more powerful. Makes the language more powerful. In one word, I can say two things. So two people, I can say that in one word. So you've got examples here. Muslimun is a Muslim. Muslimani is two Muslims. Muslimuna is three or more Muslims. Another example, ayatun is actually a feminine word. This ayatun is a sign. Ayatani is two signs. Ayatun is plural, many signs. And then we have rajulun, another example, means a man. Rajulani means two men. And rijalun means many men, three or more. So that was just an examples to show you what a singular word looks like, what a dual word looks like, and what a plural word looks like. Nobody saying anything? Looks good to me. Right. Why is it rajulun? Okay, so somebody's asking, why is it, is ayatun singular and plural? So ayatun is singular, ayatun is plural. And somebody is asking, why is it rajulun? I just chose an example there to make a marfu word. It could be rajulan, it could be rajulin, but I just chose marfu because marfu is the strongest one and it's default. It's like the most important word. It's got very high importance. I don't think you can construct a sentence without having a marfu word in there. Rijalun is a broken plural. Yes, we're coming to that, inshallah. Yes, we're coming to that, inshallah. So, yeah, okay. Next slide. Right. Why has the kasra come under ra? Yes, good question. Okay, next slide. Okay. Yeah, you got some questions. I'll try to answer some of them here. Okay, so in Arabic, we have three types of plurals. One is called sound masculine plural for masculine words. One is called sound feminine plural for feminine words. And one type of plural is called broken plural. So I mentioned what the difference was between the sound plurals and the broken plurals. So the sound plurals, you can see these two. Muslimun becomes muslimuna. Muslimatun, woman Muslim, becomes muslimatun, plural. The reason why these two are both sound is because the original word Muslim is intact. It's whole. It's there. It's not being tampered with. It's not being broken up. You're just putting something on the end. You put in a suffix at the end, but the original word is sound. It's whole. It's been untouched. It's still its original self. Feminine word, again, the original word is Muslim. Muslimatun, the ta marbuta has come to add it in to make it feminine. But the original word, Muslim, is still the same here. So these two, that's why these two are known as sound plurals. One is masculine, one is feminine. And then we have another category of plurals called broken plurals. What goes on with the broken plurals is the opposite of what I have just mentioned, which is the broken plural. What happens is a new letter has come into the original, in between the original letters, and broken up the word. So rijalun, the alif has come and broken up the original word that was rajulun. And somebody asked, why is it rijalun? That's just a pattern. That's just a pattern you have to learn. And we're not going to do broken plurals in this course because they're a bit more extensive. They take a bit more time to learn, etc. We're just learning the sort of the most common things we can in order to, in 13, 14 weeks, get a good grasp of the understanding of the Quran. Oh, okay, that's a good example. So sister mentioned, is it like knife? Knife changes to knives. Yes, that's a broken plural. That's a very good one actually, alhamdulillah. Okay, although it has an ending, but the F changed to a V. So knife has come and chopped the word up. That's a broken plural in the Arabic terminology. Again, qalbun is heart, and qulubun is hearts. So what's happened is a waw has come in and broken the original word. So these are broken plurals. There's many of them, but we're not going to concentrate on broken plurals for this course because they're a bit more trickier and they come maybe after what we've learned. Inshallah. Just gonna stop video. Alhamdulillah, no face came up there. Right, okay. Sorry, can you explain the sound feminine as the word sounds the same? Yes, so muslimatun. This meme is one count, muslimatun. But when it becomes plural, it's muslimatun. So this is going to be 2 counts. That's why we have to get our tajweed right, because if we say muslimatun, it means one Muslim. If we say muslimatun, then it's 2 counts. You've made the meme 2 counts. Now it means plural, many women. How often do broken plurals occur in the Quran? They do occur. They do occur quite a bit. I don't know how often though, but they do occur. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا السُّبُلَ. Do not follow the paths. Sabilun, the plural for that is subul. So you got rasulun, the plural is rusul. So it does come. I think rusul does come in the Quran as well. So yeah, that's like part 2. Okay, so that's an example now. I'm giving examples here. The sound. We're only going to concentrate on the sound plurals, masculine and feminine. And for that, we need to learn this dreaded table here. Okay. So this people might have sort of has sort of difficulty to sort of grasp this. So that's why we're doing this. It's for these tables and this lesson we're actually doing this revision class earlier. So let's look at this. So for singular, there is 3 ways of saying a noun. Like I said, a house, a house, a house. 3 ways of saying it. It means the same thing, but there's 3 ways, there's 3 cases in Arabic. And that is marfu, mansub, majroor. And so far what we have done is the way to identify if a word is marfu is look at the ending. A single or double pesh, a single or double dhamma means the word is marfu. But this is only true for the singular, only for singular. If we look here, this is mansub because it ends in a double fatha, a dozer, do zabar, 2 zabars. So this is mansub, we've already done it. And this one is majroor because the ending here, the word is ending in do, zer, 2 kasras. So this one, we're all happy with this one. We've learned this in the previous lesson. This one was easy. Question, why has the mansub version of Musliman? Yeah, okay. So the question is, sister's asking, the question is why now in the dual form has the Dhamma disappeared? Because that is just the way the Arabic is. The Dhamma is there. In this one, Ani is marfu. So you have to remember, in dual, those rules that we learned here, they go out of the window slightly, and you just have to remember that Ani is dual marfu. Ani is marfu dual. It's just the pattern in Arabic. You just have to learn it. There's no logic. I don't have any logic in terms of why, what's happened, what's gone on in the sort of background. I just know that Ani is marfu for two. Yeah.
Sorry, can I clarify my question?
Yes.
Actually, for the singular version of mansub, where it says musliman,
Yep.
but instead of just ending with meme and the double vowel for it's muslima with the And you know, muslimun ends in meme and muslimin ends in meme, but musliman ends in alif.
Yeah, okay. So that alif, again, so yes, you'll notice when it comes to a mansub word, singular, you get an alif. An alif just appears in Arabic. It just comes with a double fatha. An alif just appears. It's just Arabic. I don't know why, what the reason is. Why is it a historical thing? Where it started? Allah Alam, I don't know. But it's just something that you have to know that Musliman, it grows an alif. A double fatha ending grows an alif.
Is that for all letters that end in double fatha, or is it just like the meme? Is it just some letters?
It's most letters. It's only two letters that I know have an exception. There's only two letters that don't grow an alif with a double fatha. Anybody know what those letters are?
Hamza.
Hamza is one of them. And the other one?
No. Wow. I don't
Nope.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nope. I'll tell you. Our friend, the ta marbuta. Yeah? That one also doesn't take an alif. Everything else with a double mansub, double fatha, gets an alif, just grows there. You just gotta, get used to that. I don't know the reason behind that. Okay, so let's go on to marfu here. So ani is the marfu way of saying to Muslims. You just have to learn that. And one of the ways I explained it is for those people who might stick in people's head. And I've seen some imaginative, let's say, some imaginative ways of people learning marfu, mansub, majroor. So whatever fits, whatever fits your mind and whatever makes you remember it, then fine. I sort of say marfu is like the strongest case. It means raised. It's the strongest case. It's a strong case. And Ani is short for Arnold Schwarzenegger, for those people who know. And he's very strong. We know he's strong. Or he used to be strong. So Ani is marfu dual. That might be the way you remember it. People might be laughing. Yeah, it's funny. But it might make you remember it. So if that's the case, Ani. فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ. That's Ani there. تُكَذِّبَانِ. Will you too deny? How many of the favors of your Lord will you too deny? Look in the translation, it's not going to say you too. It's just going to say you deny. And that's what you miss in the translation. Which of the favors of your Lord will you too deny? So the scholars say it's talking about the group of the Muslims. Sorry, it's talking about jinn kind and humankind. So them are the two groups being referred to in the dual. So you'll miss this in translation, you won't see it. So Ani is done. And then Una is the marfu way of saying many Muslims. So kafiruna, zalimuna, fasiquna, sadiquna, kadhibuna. Una is plural. And you see the marfu'ness is coming. Look, the dhamma has come back. One of the dhammas has come back. So that's an indication to help you remember that una is marfu plural. The meaning of these words is the same. Muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina, the meaning is the same. Muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini, the meaning is the same. Two Muslims. Muslimun, musliman, muslimin, the meaning is the same. A Muslim. But there's three cases, there's three ways of saying it, and that will become evident in a sentence what's going on. It's going to help you understand the sentence when you know what case is going where. Right. So now for mansub and majroor, the good thing is the dual are both the same. Muslimaini, kadhibaini, fasiqaini, abidaini, salihaini, hafidhaini. All this, whenever you see the aini, it's talking about dual. It could be mansub, it could be majroor. You would need to know the rules of grammar to figure out, is it mansub, is it majroor. But as long as you know, aini means dual. It means two. Two Muslims. It's mansub or majroor, one of them. And muslimina is the mansub way and the majroor way of saying many Muslims. So kafiruna and kafirina mean the same thing. Disbelievers. Muslimuna, muslimina mean the same thing. Muslims. Sadiquna means many truthful people. Sadiqina means many truthful people. It's just the case is changing. So it's just these red ones are the ones you have to learn. So once you learn this template for the ending, una, as long as you know what the noun means, kadhibun, liar, then kadhibuna, you're going to automatically know what it means. Una is plural, so kadhibuna is many kadhibs. So these are the templates that you need to remember. When I teach you the templates, you should then be able to apply that to the Quran and automatically, rather than teaching you what each word means, that would be really hard. You just need to learn the templates and some words, and then you can fit them together and make out what the word means. So kafirun is disbeliever. Kafirani is two disbelievers. Kafiruna is many disbelievers. So that is the table for the sound masculine words. That's the table for the masculine words. Now the table for the feminine words is this. I'm just going to flick between both of them so you can just look at the difference, realize the difference. The ta marbuta first. In the singular words, the ta marbuta is making an appearance, and hey look, no alif there. Our friend ta marbuta is there, no alif there. That's just the way it's written in Arabic. So look at the dual. Look at the marfu dual, the first dual. Ani is the same. Ani is strong for the feminine words, and ani is strong for the masculine words. The only difference with the feminine table is that the ta marbuta, if you like, has opened up and is appearing there. So instead of muslimani, it's going to be muslimatani. So that's the way to tell if it's a feminine word. The ta marbuta has, if you like, opened up, and ani has appeared. So muslimatani is the marfu way of saying two women. And here we see a change. Atun is added to make it marfu. The good thing with atun is it's ending in dhamma. So the dhamma has come back, if you know what I mean. It's come back. That's just the pattern. So muslimatun is many Muslim women. Jannatun, many jannats, many paradises. Mu'minatun, many women believers. Atun is the plural for women marfu. So ani and atun. The women don't come again that much in the Quran. The feminine words, the feminine isn't that common compared to the masculine. You'll get more like kafiruna. Qul ya ayyuhal kafiruna. Now that kafirun is talking about the disbelieving men and the disbelieving women. Because they're both mixed in, they're both together, then the masculine terminology is used when talking about men and women. But the feminine terminology is used when only talking specifically about women only. Add one man in there, it becomes masculine terminology. So you're going to get a lot of, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala many times, and most times as far as I know, addresses the men and the women together. So the masculine terminology is used. So the masculine plurals and duals are the ones to learn most, but learn these as well because they do come up. So ani and atun. Now if you look at mansub and majroor, it's aini. the same as the masculine one. Let's go back to the masculine one. Aini is there. It's only the ta has appeared because the ta from the ta marbuta has appeared. So Muslimaini is 2 Muslim men. Muslimataini is 2 Muslim women. That one there and that one there. And these are just templates that you just have to learn. Once you learn these templates, you can fit other words there. صادقتين عابدتين حافظتين كافرتين. So template is very important, and then vocabulary is very important as well. And then for the plural, we just get the atun of marfu and make it atin. So it's atin for both. This is mansub, this is majroor. Yes, those there, the 2 kasras is there, but that's just the way it is. That's just the way you say plural. There's no muslimatan. There's no muslimatan in Arabic. The mansub way is tin. So again, half your job done because these 2 are both the same. So this is very important to learn. And it's not going to come straight away to you. You're going to have to learn it, and then you're going to forget it. Then you need to go back, and then you forget, then you go back. But each time you go back, it builds and builds and builds until, inshallah, you won't even need to picture the tables. You'll just know it, inshallah, straight away. Good time to have a break soon. Oh, sorry, yes. Okay, yes. Good time to have a break. That's a good point, that, Sheikh Siddiq. So we'll just pause it there. We'll have 5 minutes. Go and get some tea. Go and make sure the kids are asleep, or do what you need to do. And we'll just I'll just pause it here, inshallah. And then we will just continue in what time are we on now? We are on, so 8:36. We will inshallah come back. Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. So that was a very, very quick 5 minutes, I think. Just see if we've got any comments here. Okay, right, okay, so right, that one's done. So we did the feminine table, marfu, dual plural, then mansub and majroor, dual plural. Everybody happy with that? This was the thing hard to digest because I gave you that, then I gave you a big table to learn as well. I understand that, and inshallah I'm going to change it now, as one of the sisters suggested. So yeah, everybody happy? Good. Okay, right. So take home lesson, take home information is the masculine plurals end in ina and una. Ina and una is the ending for masculine male sound plurals. Masculine sound plurals end in una and ina. So whenever you see una or ina at the end of the word, the majority of the time it's going to be plural of whatever is attached to. So muslimuna, muslimina, kadhibuna, liars, kadhibina, sadiqun, sadiqun is truthful person, sadiquna, sadiqina, hafiz, hafizuna, hafizina, abid, worshipper, abiduna, abidina, zalim, which means oppressor, zalimuna, zalimina. So get these ones in your head, definitely. Una ina, una ina, una ina is plural male. Sadiquna, kafiruna, kafirina. And this one comes most. Okay, una and ina come most in the Quran compared to the feminine, which is atun, atin. So atun and atin also do come in the Quran, and that is the ending for feminine sound plurals. Atun or atin, one of them. Atun, atin. Sadiqatun, sadiqatin. Abidatun, abidatin. Salihatun, salihatin. Qanitatun, qanitatin. So atun, atin, but more importantly, una ina, because the women are in there as well. The women are included. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses both men and women, which is, as far as I understand, the majority of the time, then it is going to be una or ina ending. Happy? Nobody saying anything, so that's good. Let's see if you're still there. Yeah, still there. right? So that's the sort of summary to learn, right? So that was the first half of lesson 3, the dreaded lesson. And then this one was the second part of lesson 3, which was the separate pronoun table. So we have to start learning, we have to learn words in Arabic, otherwise we're not going to understand the meaning of sentences. Now, a pronoun is a word that is used to describe a noun. So if you've got a Lamborghini, you're just going to say it. If you've got a house, you're going to say it. If you've got lots of people, you're not going to say my family, you're just going to say them. So these words are called pronouns, and I only learned what pronoun is when I started learning Arabic. Right, when I did English, I don't know what pronoun was then. Right, so huwa is just a way to say he is or he. Huma is how to say them too. Hum is how to say them all. And the masculines come more, look at the numbers, masculines come more in the Quran than the feminine for the same reason that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says humul zalimun, or like that, when there's verses like that, generally they're talking about all of them. They're men and women. But the masculine terminology will be used when men and women are both being talked about, which as far as I understand is the vast majority of the time. So again, we tried to learn this by huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu, nahnu. And the other way we did it is huwa, third person, huma, them two, hum. And then for a woman, hiya, huma, hunna. Then for you, male, anta, one, antuma, two, antum, you all. For feminine, anti, antuma, antunna. And then ana for me, and nahnu for two of us, or nahnu for plural. So again, it's just words that come in the Quran, and if we don't know these words, then we're going to struggle. And I highlighted on the next page, okay, too fast. Okay, I'll just do it again, inshallah. So with the fingers, you want it with the fingers? Yes? No? Okay, I'll just do it with the fingers. Okay, so huwa means
Yes.
third. Okay, so third person. So this is referring to third person, somebody who's not here in the room. This is referring to somebody like you, I'm pointing at you. And then me obviously referring to me. So huwa, huma, hum. Then you've got you can see the red pointer. Here, huma, hunna. Then when it comes to second person, so the thing with the third person is they all start off with ha. Look at this, they're all red. They start off with ha. Huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. They all start off with ha. So that's the way you can tell that it's talking about third person, somebody who's not here. Now let's go to second person. Second person all start with alif. So that's one indication to be able to differentiate between third person and second person. So for males this, anta, antuma, antum. Again, anta, antuma, antum. For a sister, anti, antuma, antunna. Again, anti, antuma, antunna. And then for me, whether it's male or female, it's ana. The shaitan, he said, ana khayrun minhu, I'm better than him, ana. And then for two, it's nahnu. And for three, again, it's nahnu. Okay, say that translation, how you said it in the voice notes. Also, it was very melodious. I remember it, but okay. So one of my friends is asking that can you say it again like I did in the recording without the translation, inshallah. So it was. I'll do it with the same speed as well, yeah, inshallah. Because I think if you do a bit quick, if you do this a bit quick, it sits in the head easier, inshallah. So huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu, nahnu. Now I'll try again with my fingers and the pointer pointing at the same time, so it's like going this way and that one going that way. So I'll try that. So huwa, huma, hum. Hiya, huma, hunna. Anta, antuma, antum. Anti, antuma, antunna. Ana, nahnu, nahnu. Okay, so I hope everybody's got that in their head. The question is, yeah, Ana is me, Alif is me. Third party, I didn't understand that third party. Ha, I third party. I don't understand that. Yeah, ha is third. Yes, ha is third party. Yes, you're right. Is the 2M, 2F, and 1M, 1F important? So the 2M, yes, the M's are important everywhere. So this one here, look, let's go back to the numbers. The numbers speak for themselves. The masculine are the most important ones, the masculine terminology. And this one here, look at the masculine terminology. In contrast, look at the feminine, 7047. And here, that 55 is shared, but I presume it may be mostly masculine, that, Allah Alam. Because I couldn't, in the search, I couldn't tell whether it's anta or anti, it's just ant, that's the way the search was. But look, antunna, according to my searching, none. Antunna, none. And then, so yeah, so the masculine are the most important ones, and also the first person, masculine and feminine, them are important also. Okay, so however, you've got some, animated ways of learning them, however you can do it. Some people have cut it out and then stuck it on their board, some maybe in their kitchen, other people maybe take a photograph of it and put it on their desktop, whatever you want to do, but you still have to put some effort in to learn it. One thing I try to do is leave the book open on the page that I want to learn and put it on a table where I always walk past and make it a rule, whenever I go past it, I'm going to give it a once over. And however you can learn it, but that's what you need to do. I'll tell you what, another technique that I'll quickly tell you, inshallah. 20 years ago, we were given a task to do. To write a verse down 20 times in English. Any verse. We could choose any verse we wanted to write, but we had to write it down 20 times. Yes, I'm suggesting to you, if you want to write this down 20 times, I'm telling you, try it, because for many of you, it might click. Because when you write, you remember. People used to hifz the Quran by writing it, and some people even do now. So anyway, back to the story. 20 years ago, I was given, a group of brothers were given a verse to write down 20 times. 20 times with a pen, write it down, the English translation. So we did it. By the time I got to the 15, 16, 17, I knew the verse off by heart. That wasn't the really super amazing thing. I think what the really super amazing thing was 10 years later, I thought here, because I was teaching this, so I thought, let's just see if I still remember that verse that I did. And I knew 95% of it. I just had to check to see if, oh yes, I got it, that's fine. And it was done. I still knew it. And the verse was, if there were in the heavens and the earth other gods besides Allah, there would have been confusion in both. But glory be to Allah, Lord of the throne. Far exalted is He above what they attribute to Him. So it wasn't a small verse. That was the verse. 10 years later, I still knew it, and I still know it. I wrote it down 20 times. I didn't even start hifzing it like off by heart. I just wrote it down 20 times. So some of my students, I actually told them, write it down. Write the whole table down 20 times. Yeah, you might hate me and your hand might hurt, but you might remember it. It might stick in your head. So try that. And while I was there in the class, there was another brother who was in that group of brothers who got the verse to learn. I just asked him, he was one of the students. I asked him, do you remember that verse? In front of everybody, I asked him. And he remembered that verse as well, the verse that he had to do. So somebody else in this group actually there's somebody else here who also was given that task to do. I don't want to say who it was, but maybe that person can sometime, see if he still knows that verse. So that's one way of doing it as well. Write it down. Write it. By the time it comes to the 20th time, your hand will hurt, but you might know it. Inshallah. Okay, so this is all we had to do. So we had some practice. Muslimani means two Muslim men, because the ani and it's marfu. Mu'minuna, the una shows plurality, plural. Believing men, plural, and it's marfu. Comes from that table. You have to learn that table. Mu'minaini is dual. Naini is dual. And it is either majroor or mansoob, but I'm telling you here, it's coming from that word, so I'm calling it mansoob. But otherwise, if you saw mu'minaini by itself anywhere, you wouldn't know whether it's mansoob or majroor unless you know the rules of grammar. Yes, alhamdulillah, sister is saying, don't forget the reward you will get for writing as well. Don't forget the reward you will get for writing. And for a bit of motivation, there was a sister who posted in the group that she had a dream that her granddad came to her. She was struggling with the Arabic. She was struggling. Obviously, it's a new language. It's new words you have to learn, and you need to make time. So she was struggling, but then her grandfather came to her in a dream and said, you're doing a good thing, learning the Quran, Quranic Arabic, or learning the Quran. You're doing a good thing. So, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave her the motivation to continue. And that story gives me motivation and should give you guys motivation that we're doing a good thing here. We're doing a noble thing. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it. What's the reason for learning the dual or third person, feminine, masculine, if it doesn't appear in the Quran? Yeah, okay, if it doesn't, yeah. Okay, point taken. If it doesn't appear in the Quran, then you don't need to learn it. But as you're learning the whole table, you might as well. If we go back to that table, we will see the only one that doesn't come in, the humas don't come in, and the antuna doesn't come in. But you're going to need this huma somewhere else. So if you just learn it with the table, fine. But yes, you've got a point. If it's not in the Quran, why learn it? It may come in the Quran, it's just that I couldn't find it anywhere. By itself, huma. Yes, jazakallah khair. It will help you learn the other words. It follows the pattern, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna. Yeah. Okay. Valid point though, valid point. Okay, so kafirina. Rina is plural, remember? Means many disbelieving women. Many disbelievers. Men, masculine terminology, but kafirina can include women as well. Yeah, it's good to know though anyway, Huma. Okay. Right, kadhibaini. Baini, remember baini is dual. And it is majroor in this case because of this. Otherwise, it's the pattern for mansoob or majroor. Zalimina, remember una ina, critical. Una ina is plural. Many zalims, okay? So many oppressors. If you didn't know the case, okay, it's secondary, but as long as you know una ina means plural. And in this case, it's majroor. Muslimatani, Ani is back. Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you can remember it that way. Ani is marfu, and Ani is dual. So you might want to think he's got two biceps, he's got two muscles. So Ani is dual. I know it's getting a bit cheesier. Right, okay, so Muslima Dani. Muslimatani is marfu and it's two. For me, it'll be confusing if I don't learn it because the pattern, yes. So one person has said huwa, huma, hum. If you missed out the huma, then the pattern all changes and the sort of rhyme changes. Yes. Okay, we got that. So next one, mu'minatun. Remember, atin is feminine plural. Feminine plural. Atin. So mu'minatun is many believing women, and it's marfu. In this one, the marfu dhamma, the do pesh has come back. Sadiqataini, remember aini anywhere is dual. Aini, whether it's male or female, aini is dual. Sadiqataini means many truthful women, and it is mansub. Sadiqatin, again, many women.
Previous one could be majroor as well.
Yes, this one could be majroor as well. The reason why I called it mansub is because mansub, I'm telling you, it's coming from this word here. But yes, it could be majroor as well. Maybe I should change my slides and make them a bit more sort of user-friendly. Right, sadiqatin is truthful women. By itself, it could be mansub, it could be majroor. But I just took it from there, so mansub. Fasiqataini, again, aini is dual. Main thing to remember, aini is dual. Two rebellious women. Majroor or mansub, but in this case, keeping it to majroor. Dhalimatin, atin, plural. Main thing, many oppressing women. Majroor. And then we went through this verse, which was just a translation. Somebody posted the color version. You'll get the slides at the end, inshallah, and that will have all this in, inshallah. So what I mentioned here is Muslimina would normally be normally Muslimin generally in the Quran it would mean male and women, all Muslims. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has specified the feminine one here, then that means this one is masculine only. So this is the men only because the women are mentioned next to it. So this one's men only and this is the women. So indeed the Muslim believing men and the Muslim believing women and the Muslim believers and the women believers and those who are devout believers, men, and the devout believing women. So this was a beautiful verse that shows you the atin and ina plurals. Yes, the alif is small there, that's the font, the way the font is, right? In other words, I think it has the meme, the alif joined to the meme like this. But this is what's going on. So these masculine plurals and feminine plurals are being used here. And just for extra information, this is not marfu, is it? This is any Arab know? So we've not covered it yet, but does any Arab know or anybody what this is? Is it marfu? Well, it's not marfu. Is it mansub or majroor? Any Arab? See? Can't complain. I don't ask the Arabs. I'm asking the Arabs. Mansub. You're right. Mansub. Why is it mansub? Or is it a guess?
Because it terminates with a.
Yes, okay, so there's some proper Arabs here. Okay, yeah, so inna is a mansubifier. It makes the next word mansub. It's just a grammar rule. Inna makes the next word mansub. That's why inna Allaha ghafurun rahimun. Inna Allaha. Because inna is one of those words that makes the next noun mansub. Don't worry about it. We're not going to cover it, but just wanted to see how many Arabs there are here. Okay. Right, so we moved on then to the verses. We've got 15 minutes left, so I think we're going to have to skip the verses. What I might even do at the end is just do a recording where I translate word for word all the verses that we've done so far, so everybody can sort of see it happening. We might do that inshallah at the end sometime. Right, so this done, that done. And then lesson 4 starting. So we did that. If you notice, if you sort of don't know these words, I'm telling you, learn them. Because once this course is finished, many people put their books away and they say, we'll do it. But they don't do it because there's no course happening. There's nothing forcing you to be there on a Thursday. So take as much as you can from this and don't close it when it's finished. Go over it. And I will say, teach your children, teach your family, teach your close relatives. Because when you teach them, you have to learn it beforehand yourself. So you will learn more. It's a way of teaching yourself when you teach other people. So I don't want you, once this course is finished, to close the books. I'll give you the slides. I'll give you the help that you need, inshallah, and teach your family, teach your children. I know one brother, he teaches his nieces and nephews, and alhamdulillah, he's teaching them, and they're attending this course as well. So maybe getting happy saying, oh, he mentioned us, right? So they're doing it. So he's teaching his family. So teach your families to get you more practice, and then you'll be messaging me saying, I don't understand, why is this like that? And I'll be happy to answer, inshallah. Right. So lesson 4. So lesson 4, what we did in lesson 4, we've got 15 minutes left, inshallah. I don't want to go over because there's people who need to do things, you've got busy lives, so I don't want to take up your time, inshallah. I know we brought that rule last week, but I'll try to keep it now, inshallah. Okay, so attached pronouns, that's all pretty much we had to learn in this lesson. Attached pronouns, these are pronouns that come and they connect to the noun. So they are suffixes, yes. They're attached to the end of the noun. So how do I say his book? I will say Kitabuhu. You put a hu at the end, it makes it his book. Masjiduhu, his masjid. Baytuhu, his house. Imamuhu, his imam. So we just had to learn. Will I be doing next level intermediate? I don't know yet. I plan to do it sometime, inshallah, but that's a bit harder. Brother, could you please advise how many times the verse? Could you please advise how many times the verses come up in the Quran? The verses, I don't know, but that is, I've got to have some information on that. Maybe I will do something after this course, inshallah, where we go over the most frequently occurring sort of phrases in the Quran. So you get an expansion on what you know now. I might do that, inshallah, afterwards. Okay, so who makes it his, huma makes it hers, and let's just see huma. You don't have to learn it in the previous slide because it was separate, but now it's attached to the word. Huma comes. So like their two's book, I'm saying their two's book to teach it. It's really in English you just say their book, meaning two people, but I'm saying it to explain as a teacher. Their two's book is Kitabuhuma. Kitabuhuma. And their all's book, their book, plural, Kitabuhum. And then her book, Kitabuha. Their two's book, Kitabuhuma. And their book, women plural only, Kitabuhunna. So these words are very similar to the previous words in the previous table. It's just that these words they're stuck onto the end of the noun. They're suffixed to the noun. Whereas the other ones in lesson 3, they're separate words. Hum al-zalimun. Hum al-zalimun. These are attached. Kitabuhum. Baytuhum. Masjiduhum. Rabbuhum. Their Lord. So let's go on to this one. Rabbuka is your Lord, brother. Rabbuki is your Lord, sister. Rabbi is my Lord. Rabbukuma is your Lord, brother and sister as well. Rabbukuma, same thing. Rabbukum, and the kum, look how many times, 1,600. Rabbukum means your Lord, plural, your all's Lord. Rabbukunna, your Lords only, talking to women only, kunna, coming 4 times. Rabbi, my Lord, Rabbi, and Rabbuna. Rabbuna means our Lord. Now you could say, let's look at this one. We could say, let's look at this one, his Lord. We could say Rabbuhu if Rabb is marfu. If Rabb is mansoob, it would be Rabbahu. And if Rabb is majroor, it would be Rabbi, he. So sometimes he is used, sometimes who is used. These are 2 counts. In Urdu, that would be a ulti pesh or ulta pesh, who. And in the Arabic Quran, Arabic Uthmani script, you'll get a little wow there. So it's who, it's 2 counts. Who, okay? So kitabuhu, kitabi, he. It becomes he if the letter before it, this one becomes he, and this one becomes he, and this one, they become he if the letter before it has a kasra, has a zair. If the letter before it has a zair, has a kasra, then it's going to be kitabihim. Otherwise, it's going to be kitabuhum. It's already written in the Quran, but that's what's going on. And there's another letter, if it comes before it, it's going to become a he. And that is a ya with a skoon. A ya with a jazm. Alayhim. It's not going to be alayhum. It's going to be alayhim. So again, just learning this table. Again, I think I've got some questions here. Advice. Okay. In the Quran, please, the verses that you... advise how many times a verse comes up. Okay, so I don't know how many times. So those verses that I've mentioned in at the end of each lesson, I don't know how many times they come in the Quran. I could try maybe finding out for some of them, but yeah, I don't know how many times they come in. To search that might be a bit trickier for me. Yeah. Okay, so this again. Hu, huma, hum. Ha, huma, hunna. Ka, kuma, kum. Ki, kuma, kunna. I, na, na. Okay, so I recorded it, so I'm just going to do it with the fingers once more. Hu, huma, hum. Ha, huma, hunna. Ka, kuma, kum. Ki, kuma, kunna. I, na, na. Okay, can you please repeat when the hu and the he ending will be used? So, kitabuhu, if the letter coming before the ha is a dhamma or a fatha, then the dhamma is going to be used. So, kitabuhu, kitabahu. If the letter before the ha has a kasra on it, has a zair on it, then the he is going to be used. And also, if the letter coming before the ha is a ya, skoon, a ya with a jazm, alay, then he is going to be used. Well, that makes sense? Again, that's written in the Quran, so you don't really need to worry too much about that. Just learn the hu, huma, hum. Just learn the hu, huma, hum. Right? So again, masculine is super important. We've got 5-6 minutes left, so quickly go over the next one. Have you done that? I've got time to do that. It's all in the recordings. And we did that verse. Not going to repeat that now. I've got time. Fi means in. Done all them. Yeah. So I mentioned that these are majroorifying words. These, if they come in front of a noun, they will make the noun majroor. And these are the words that come in front of a noun to make it majroor. These are the letters that attach onto the noun at the start. So these are prefixes. They make the word majroor too. And li... Sorry, I don't know if that was a question or that was just a cute voice. Okay. So li means for, belonging to. And that's the one we're going to concentrate on here. Remember this one? Remember this last week? And one of the brothers, young brother, was saying that what's going on? Why is the box empty? So I've done something to it. What have I done to it? Anybody? Yeah, it's going to be a far-fetched one.
Have you added the li in it?
Sorry?
Have you added the li that you were saying?
No, I'm just going to change those boxes because the brother was saying, why is it empty? So I've changed it now to... I turn it to a Lamborghini, my favorite car. Okay, so brother, I hope you're happy now that there's something in there. It's not blank anymore, yeah? So again, just here, fi, I put it in the car, so fi's driving the car, yeah? So fi means inside, ala means on, fawqa means above, tahta means under, baina between the two cars, between. Ah no, It's not yellow. I said that yellow was a favorite, but when I saw this beautiful green one, I thought, let's take the green one instead. Okay, right. So, brother, I hope you're happy with that one. Took me about 10 minutes trying to find the right Lamborghini. Right, okay. So the li, when it comes in front of a noun, it means for the noun, and it has a kasra on it. So al-muttaqun means pious. When you stick a li, it means for the pious, and it becomes majroor as well. But the main thing to remember is li in front of a noun makes it for. So lil muttaqin, for the believers. Okay, it was a sister. I thought it was a brother. It was a sister. I didn't know. I thought it was a brother. Okay. So so when a li comes in front of a noun, it makes it into majroor, and the meaning is for the pious. Lis-sadiqeen, for the sadiqeen. Lil-kafirin, for the disbelievers. Lil-muslimin, for the Muslims. So again, just something to learn there. When the li comes in front of attached pronoun, the pronouns were just done, then it just has a fatha on it, but it's the same meaning, for them. So them is hum, li and hum joined together makes lahum. Lahum means for them. Walil muttaqeen mean yes. So walil muttaqeen would mean for and for the muttaqeen. Yeah, we say lillahi. Lillah means for Allah. Meaning to Allah belongs. It's the lam of belonging. To Allah belongs, or for many times for. But when you say Allah, lillah, it means for Allah. Sorry, to Allah belongs. If you just said for Allah, you still know what it means. You still know what's going on. For Allah, it means to Allah belongs. So it's a lam of belonging. So we did that, and then we just yes.
So is li meaning for sometimes la in when it's in the beginning?
So it's la when it comes in front of a pronoun. It's la. But when it comes in front of a noun, it's li. It's the same meaning for. It means for. Yeah. Okay. So the reason why I did that is because you get these words coming in the Quran so much. For them. Sorry, for you. For you. 71. For us. Lana, for us. 83. Lahu, for him. 308. Laha, for her. And the who is that we get Abu Bakr radiyallahu anhu. May Allah be pleased with who? Him. And Aisha radiyallahu anha. We say, don't we? May Allah be pleased with her. So this who and ha comes all over. Okay, and that pretty much was the whole of the 4 lessons. You've got for homework, you've still got until inshallah about Monday, so take your time with that, absorb everything, give yourself a break. We will have another 2 revision classes before the end. You've covered a lot of the course already. Most of the course, or most of the important parts of the course, are in like the first 7-8 lessons. So we've done a good chunk of the course. We're going to go into verbs from next lesson, and we're going to teach you that grammar rule that you need to know, and the whole reason you've been learning the cases. We're going to do that inshallah next class. I hope has it been useful, this class? Has it been useful? I hope so, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. We've got in the yeah there as well. Yeah, I mean, it's just a reminder. It just makes things cements it up. The more you go over it, if you go over the recordings, inshallah, it'll make more sense the more time you listen to it, inshallah. And we will have a revision class again in about 3 or 4 classes, and then we'll have one right at the end and just do the whole thing again a bit quick. And then you guys open it up and then do the rest. So it's 9:14. I want to keep to my time. I know there's people who need to put their kids to bed and all that business, and you've got busy lives. There's people who have been working all day and they're coming back and they need the time off. So jazakumullah khairan. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.